Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. And I guess I wanted to talk about a topic that I haven't talked about for a while. I think back in October of 2023, I did a video about Lies of P. My, yeah, I think I showed some gameplay footage that I had played of it. I thought that maybe show footage as I was talking about this, but I'll just want to talk about just my opinion of this game. Yeah, we've had DLC has recently come out. I was totally surprised by that. I think, yeah, that was released at the Summer Games Showcase or whatever. It was cool, a new DLC. I haven't quite yet played the DLC yet. Yeah, well, on Steam, there was a deal for Lies of P, so I was able to get Lies of P for a little bit cheaper than normally it's been going for. Yeah, and I guess the ultimate thing I would talk about is Lies of P is still a great game. And, yes, still a very great game. Yeah, it's quite an amazing game. It really does feel like a Souls-like game, but it's like made by completely other people. I believe some of the people, one of the companies I think that worked on this game also worked on the RoboCop game. That's also another great game. Yeah. Yes, there has been updates to it. They have made difficulty sliders. Some people call them. Yeah, there's the super easy, and there's like kind of medium easy, and then there's like super hard. I've actually played the medium easy. Yeah, and I do feel like the difficulty is kind of, I mean, I don't mind if like regular enemies you're constantly fighting, they aren't very tough. I mean, whatever. But if the bosses feel off, because I remember being stuck on the first boss like a bunch. I appreciate a game that's has difficulty, but is the difficulty really always my fault? Because a lot of times it's like when I first played through in that video, I didn't really get much of an idea how it works. I guess after you play through it one time, then you play it again, just like reset completely. Don't do a new game plus, just reset it completely and play it, and then you're like, oh well, now I want to play it to kind of have fun playing it, not really fighting to get through it. Yeah, I have not been able to defeat the final boss. Wasn't very good at it, and it's kind of my own fault. I'm sure people can say there's a lot of things I was doing wrong. There's a lot of things you can upgrade weapons, different handles. I never really was into the handles or whatever. But yeah, I mean the story, great, graphics great. It we didn't I haven't had any bugs with this game at all, even when it first came out either. Even Yeah, and I was kind of limited at how I kind of did videos. I can do videos a lot better now than that, but yeah, just want to talk about it. Yeah, I know a lot of people. There's a lot of controversy. The game is so hard. I mean, I guess every game isn't for everybody. A lot of these Souls-like games aren't really for everybody. I mean, yeah, I mean, whatever. It's like it just seems really to me. People wham. I want to have it super easy. It's like, uh, well, that's the whole part of the Souls-like games. You want them to be difficult. And tell me, it was always very satisfying to defeat a boss that I had died a couple times on. It was frustrating. I mean, I almost felt like I just don't want to play this anymore. But I don't know the storyline, and the graphics, and made the mood and the atmosphere of this game just made me want to come back to it. Yeah. Well, I guess let's talk about it. I believe that Liza P does heavily influenced by the story of Pinocchio. They don't actually say Pinocchio. Maybe there's a legal reason why they can't do that. I like how at the very beginning they show the name. Was it Carlo something or other? He's actually the writer of The Adventures of Pinocchio. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, the more dark tale of it. There's like people make puppets, and the puppets start taking out. The puppets basically become maids and do all the work, and then all of a sudden there's a day all the puppets go nuts and they start murdering everybody. And of course, you're like Geppetto's puppet that he created, and you wake up. Some strange woman voice wakes you up, and And you have to run to Hotel Krat. And that's like the first part of the game is just getting to the hotel. Yeah. And of course you have Argo, which is kind of like souls. It's the currency. You're going to use that to buy items and upgrade your character. It's maybe like any Souls-like game. Yeah, you might want to go and level up quite a bit. Yeah, that is the issue though. There is a rather tough boss. You know, and of course you start starting out. There's different classes you can choose. That's just how what your opening stats are. You can access the other weapons later on if you want. You know, there's like strength build. There's multiple things. Yeah. Well, and you can't get to the DLC until Chapter 9. So I do have to kind of play through the original game a little bit. So you are going to be somewhat leveled up by the time you get to the DLC. Yeah, people say it's hard or whatever. It is difficult, but maybe it's just, you know, you have to really focus on fighting. Just focus on fighting and blocking. I think I've kind of relearned how to do the blocking mechanic and do things a little bit better. But now it's like, you know, people be like, oh, well, you got through it because you played it on the super hard, easy mode. So it might be harder now. It's like, you say, yeah, I beat Lies of P, and everyone's like, oh, well, you must have turned it on the super easy mode. Yeah, I don't know. I like that there's an option to play an easier mode of the game if you just want to focus on the story. The story is great. Yeah, I mean, I don't want the difficulty to be too easy, though. I like there to be a bit of a challenge. That's why I like to play these Souls-like games. I've played a lot of the other Souls-like games, and I will admit maybe I technically did rage quit, or maybe I just lost interest in them. A lot of Souls-like games, you know, it's like, you know, you die, lose your stuff, then you have to go back and get it, and sometimes you have to go back through the whole thing, and you have to like be very careful, you know, watch corners, and Lies of P is very much like that. You never know when enemy is going to come flying out at you. Yeah, I definitely advise anyone that likes Souls-like games or likes a game that's a challenge will probably want to play this. Yeah, I haven't tested out like the difficulty that's supposed to be like what the original difficulty was. Yeah, some of the I've seen some of the bosses of the DLC. I probably shouldn't have been given away or not. There's a few levels and a few bosses. They're interesting bosses. The final boss is oof. Someone playing him, wow, that's pretty intense. I will admit that's an intense fight. Yeah, very much like the final boss on the base game. It's like whoa. Yeah, I mean it's like you don't have much room for error at all. It's like coming at you full tilt. I think I've kind of learned better on how to play it. I might do some footage, you know, I might play it or whatever, but I thought it was just nice to be my opinions, because a lot of people have come out and talk about this is still a great game, and yes, it's still a very great game. Anyone that might like it, well, I mean, I guess you could play the demo and see if you like it or not before you spend the money. I was able to get it for like, what was it, like $30 on Steam or something, so it was on sale. I think it might still be on sale. Yeah, what's funny is like the DLC is like $30, but I don't want to buy the DLC, of course, like I said, until you get to Chapter 9. So it's like it's much like the Elden Ring DLC, where there's kind of a substantial amount of stuff you got to do before you can actually access the DLC. I remember getting the DLC, like, where the heck do I go to do the DLC? And I go there, and I'm like, oh, I got to defeat a boss before I can even get to the thing. And then I think I found out I had to defeat another boss, and I was like, yeah. No, Lies of P, I mean, the DLC just carries on the best thing. I mean, some people think it might be the game of the year of 2025. I mean, well, I mean, how many games, great games do we really have? I mean, I've played Elden Ring Night Rain. That's like a very different style of game, most definitely. Yeah, so if you've been on the fence about Lies of P, you definitely want to try to give it a shot. I mean, you can play it on Game Pass. I think it should be still on Game Pass. It's been a while since I played it on there. It's on. It's on I think Lies of P is pretty much on everything except the Switch. Yeah, I wonder if there'll be a Switch 2 version. Like, whatever. Yeah, anyway, I definitely suggest. It's still a great game. It's kind of cool. Excuse me. It's kind of cool to see a game that ages well, and this game has aged great. I mean, yeah, the difficulty level may somebody off, but I'm not really saying that that's. I feel like that if that's something to complain about. Yeah, well, we make a game, we can't make everybody happy. You know, it's like, I mean, if they made the game too easy, people would complain it was too easy. So it's like, it's nice to have difficulty sliders, but I do like to have the access to the original difficulty. Well, yeah, in my opinion, if I was doing a walkthrough, like to show to you guys, I would probably do a more easier mode. Let's get past the bosses and not get so frustrated and die 50 times. But yeah, if I'm playing on my own and maybe I'd want a challenge, it's worth trying to play. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think the DLC is pretty great. I haven't played it yet. I look forward to playing it, but yeah. It's kind of cool to see DLC. I know, yeah, Lies of P is what, 2 years old, or it's not that old of a game, but it is interesting to see DLC and then patches, and they've upgraded the game and everything. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a great game. I mean, this company that made this game did great. I mean, I think this is their first game, I think. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I really can't put into words how much I like Lies of P. The story, graphics, music, the setting, the mood. As I've said earlier, this is great. Okay, that's probably enough kissing the butt of this game. Yeah, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please leave any comments you might have. Like, do you like Lies of P? Do you think it's still a great game? I think it's still one of the great games. A very surprised game. Like, I feel like this game I don't think it came out of nowhere. I just think it was kind of like, I thought, oh, it looks weird, but once you play it, I guess when you play it, it feels a lot different when you actually play it than when you see it. Yeah. Might remind me of kind of like a Tim Burton kind of mood to it, the darkness and stuff. Yeah, almost like a kind of there's like a steampunk aesthetic to this game as well. Yeah, kind of that kind of Gilded Age kind of look to it. Beautiful game. Settings are great. I mean, it's great. Yeah, like I said, and they're puppets. But you could say that somewhat it's a showing of them as like robots or something because they have rules of puppets and stuff. An interesting game. I don't want to spoil all the lore and everything, but it's definitely worth playing. Alright. Well, I'll see you guys later. We'll either be doing some gameplay footage, or maybe I'll just be talking about stuff. Well, see you guys later then. Bye.